this is a simple business. We get paid for sharing a product. And we get paid for recruiting people and teaching them to share a product and recruit people. It's that simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it, and we don't need to make it more difficult than it really is. So when we look at the concept of retailing in our business, it all starts with who you know. Everything that we do starts with who you know. That could be a who do you know list, it could be a social media list, it could be who you work with, it could be who you socialize with, it could be people who you go to do sports with, go to church with, your spiritual contacts, people that you live in the same community with, people that live in your street, in your town. It's people. And with over 70 million people in the UK alone, let alone some of the other countries that we've got here, you're never going to run out of people, ever. And yet, because we sometimes have fears that limit us, we believe that we actually don't know anybody to go and talk to, don't we? How often have we heard it said when we're working with brand new people, oh, I don't know anybody? How many of you have even said that yourselves? Well, of course, we all know people. But what we need to do is we need to understand that we take people on a process. So if we look at the retailing opportunity, it's very simple. We identify the people we want to share the product with, and then we simply get in touch with them. Now, that can be face-to-face when we're at work, at the school gates or the gym, wherever we are. It could be via a phone call, the dreaded phone call. It could be via a text message or WhatsApp message. It could be via an email. I mean, there are so many platforms nowadays to get in touch with somebody. And all we're doing is getting in touch with them to say, hey, I'm working with a great range of products. I'm using them myself. They're absolutely incredible. I'd love to share them with you. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. You know, for me, when I had the product shared with me, I had a phone call and Chris said, I know, Marcus, your little one has got a bit of a skin challenge. I think I may have something that might help him. Simple as that. So all we're doing is we want to introduce them to the product. Now, of course, that could be via an experience pack. It could be via a C9. It could be via a one-to-one over a coffee, which is a way that I love exposing the product, because you get real intimacy and a real buy-in to the product because you've got that one-on-one time. Never underestimate the power of one-on-one with the product. It could be a product launch. A product launch is one of the fastest ways to get momentum in retailing in a brand new FBO's business, and also to quickly recruit for them from a launch as well. Obviously, once we've engaged with our consumer through whichever method you decide to use, we need to go for the sale. You need to ask for the sale. And I know so many people that give out experience packs, even do product launches, and at the end of the evening or when they collect the pack, they don't ask for the order. Which product did you enjoy the most? Which one shall I order for you? Which one shall I get for you? How many of them would you like? Do you want one for you and one for a friend, one for a family member? Don't be scared to ask the question. And then the key thing is to stay in touch. The key thing is to stay in touch. It is not sell it once and leave them. And again, this is where we see huge challenges. Where people sell a product, they never call those people back because they're fearful. Is that right? How many of you have done that? Sold a product and be terrified to call them up to see how they're getting on with the product. Here's what happens. They love the product. They don't hear from you, so they go find somebody else who they can buy it from. And I want to share a quick story with you if I can. My mum was a very successful FBO. She was a Sapphire manager. She was number 2 in the UK. No longer with us, but always with us in spirit. And she was incredible at retailing product. Never missed an opportunity to engage with anybody that came close to her. And And she also had a unique way of delivering product to people. And I remember one day she rang me up and said, I won't see you later on, I've got to go and deliver a product. And I said, brilliant, who is it to? She said, well, it's someone I've never met, but it's someone who's used the deodorant for a long, long time, but nobody's ever kept in touch with her to invite her to use the product again and again and again. So she got my number, she called me up, and I'm going to go and take the product. And I said, brilliant, no problem, see you tomorrow. So my mum set off, and the lady who in question is actually in this room today. My mum set off to deliver a deodorant in a huge box of product. She took a whole Start Your Journey box to deliver one product. And she walked into the house and she made friends with this person who she'd never met before, and she put the whole box of products on the table. And eventually, when my mum had found out all about this lady, everything about her, because that was the way that my mum was, she said, oh, by the way, I've got your product for you. And she opened this big box. And the first product she took out was the aloe vera gel. She said, oh, that's not for you. That's for Mrs. Smith. I'm dropping that off on the way home. And then she got out the propolis cream. That one's not for you either. This propolis cream is really, really good, but I'm dropping that off to my neighbour because her son's got a problem with skin. Oh, trust Joe, no, this one isn't for you, but this one is quite amazing. And she went through the whole box, and finally she pulled out a deodorant and said, oh, here's your product. And then she picked up the box and said, the box is empty. And my mum said, but actually it isn't empty, because alongside these products is the most incredible business opportunity. An opportunity that will allow you to travel, to drive a new car, to build financial security for you and your family. Not supposing you would be interested in that, would you? Of course she was interested. She registered. She went on to be a manager, a chairman's bonus qualifier, been on the global rallies, and has built a great business. Is Margaret Sadler in the room? Will she please stand up? And she's still with us today. Do you remember that, Margaret? And you went on to build a very, 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 very firm friendship as well. And all because nobody followed Margaret up. So if you're not following up your consumer, I'm just going to say this in the nicest possible way, shame on you. Shame on you. Because if you don't, somebody else will. So we stay in touch. That allows us to get a second order. And we all know that once we get the second and third order, then we've got a customer for a long, long time. But also, we can advance our customer. And this is what I do when I advance a customer. When I have a second or a third or a fourth order, when I know the timing's about right, what I will do is I'll pop round and deliver a product. And I always, I like to be quite sociable with my customers, because it is a relationship. I've got customers with me today that have been with me for 10, 15 years. Long-term customers. I've seen their children grow up. I've seen them go through schools and universities. We've looked after them. It's just incredible. But there will come a time for some consumers where you need to advance them. So let's just say that Susanna was my customer. She's had maybe 6 bottles of gel off me, and I pop round to deliver an order. And because she's been such a good customer, I'm also going to give her a free tooth gel. Okay? A little bit of gratification there. And then I'm going to ask her a simple question. I'm going to say, Susanna, you clearly love these products, and you're clearly getting great benefit from them. And she says, yeah. And I say, and we just have a chat about the benefits, about her relationship with the product. And then this is the question I ask her. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how likely would you be to recommend these products to other people, knowing you love them so much? Now, normally, they're sort of about a 7 or an 8. And I say that's absolutely brilliant. If I could show you, by recommending these products to people you love and care about, how to make an extra £200 to £300 per month, would you be interested? That's it. She'll either say yes, in which case I advance her, show her the opportunity and show her how she can retail the product. And if she says no, I say no problem, but would you have a product launch for me? So it's a win-win. And it's, even if it's a no today, it's not a no forever. So you need to understand there's a cycle that we go through. We do our list, we get in touch, we share the product via either an experience pack, C9, launch, one-to-one. We take an order, we stay in touch. As a result of staying in touch, we take the second, the third, the fourth order, and then we advance our consumer. And that is the retail cycle. And if you can understand the simplicity of that, you will never, ever, ever have trouble engaging with someone and saying, have a look at what I use, have a look at what I work with, have a look at what I recommend. They're amazing products and I believe they could be good for you too. It's that simple.